Today's video podcast is a repeat of prior videos and a refresher on how the option period and its extension work. It is loud and clear from our contracts that if the option fee is not paid within the time specified, buyer does not have an option to terminate. The contract literally reads, if no dollar amount is stated as the option fee, or if buyer fails to pay the option fee to seller within the time prescribed, this paragraph will not be a part of the contract and buyer shall not have the unrestricted right to terminate. What this means is no payment or no payment in time, there is no unrestricted right to terminate. No right to terminate simply means that the contract is still ongoing and the parties have an obligation to perform under the contract. The issue arises when a buyer sends a notice of termination under an option that does not exist, either because the buyer never paid the option or did not pay in time. Then the seller stops performing under the terms of the contract and makes claim to buyer's earnest money as if buyer is in default. That does not work. To enforce default remedies against the buyer must be in default of his or her obligations under the contract, and the seller must not be in default of his or her obligations. Simply giving notice of termination when buyer does not have the right to terminate is not a default under the contract. Only if buyer defaults on his ongoing obligations can the buyer be in default. However, seller's failure to perform his or her obligations can be considered as relieving buyer of his or her obligations to perform. The result, seller does not have the right to earnest money. Please advise your clients accordingly. Two more reminders. If the buyer pays the option fee late and seller keeps the option fee, it is my opinion that the seller waived his right to claim buyer had no option to terminate just because the option fee was late. Second reminder, for an option extension, it is my opinion, and I've said this before, that a fee must be paid, because without paying a fee, and I mean actually paying a fee, there is no consideration for the extension and therefore no binding agreement for the extension. The amendment calls for a fee, and I think the option extension should be treated just like it's treated in the contract, where it makes clear that if no dollar amount is stated or if none is paid, then there is no right to terminate. Please feel free to share this information with your colleagues, as I'm seeing more and more confusion about what happens when the option fee is not paid. If you have any questions about this, please reach out to me directly. If you have any additional topics you would like covered in these videos, please email me at tipoftheweek@allegiancetitle.com. Thank you.